One of the hardest things after trauma is losing the sense of power over your life. It doesn't have to be this way. Today, I'll show you how you can tap back into your innate strength and own your power. Before we dive into how to own your power, even if you've been devastated by trauma, let's take a minute to define trauma. What is trauma? The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, or DSM, is the Bible used by health and medical professionals in diagnosing mental disorders. The most recent version is the DSM-5, and it defines trauma as actual or threatened death, serious injury, or sexual violence. I'm gonna be real honest here and say there is a lot of value in the DSM-5, and I by no means am dismissing or overriding the tens of thousands of hours spent by hundreds of professionals that have gone into creating and updating that manual and the wonderful benefit and support it provides. I'm also going to say that dismissing the human experience because it doesn't fit into a diagnostic manual can be harmful. The reality is, we are humans living a mortal experience, doing our best to learn and grow through this experience called life. That journey at times is going to include hard, heartbreaking, wounding experiences that can result in trauma. Call it trauma with a little t, or micro traumas, or something else. Our experiences, even the hard ones, shape us and can wound us. Dismissing the reality of that wound because it doesn't fit into a diagnostic manual's definition can be harmful. For our purpose today, we are going to define trauma as we believed our world was safe, something happened, and we no longer feel safe. That experience creates a wound, and if we are unable to heal from it, future experiences that remind us of that original experience re-wound us. And until we heal, we are injured again and again, often not even recognizing or realizing the cycle of wound, trigger, re-wounding that happens over and over until we feel broken and like there is no hope. There is hope, and you are not alone. Healing is possible. We're going to talk about 4 keys to owning your power. Number 1, recognize your innate worth. Number 2 is choosing compassion for yourself and others. Number 3 is learning to trust yourself again. And number 4 is recognizing you have a choice. So number 1, worth. Healing from trauma, especially physical, emotional, or sexual trauma, is a rebuilding of your foundation. And what is the foundation of your life? Often it is found in our worth, and we can go through our entire life searching for our worth. We look for it in relationships with friends, partners, or family. We try to earn it through our accomplishments such as money, houses, careers, cars, vacations, or through societal standards of beauty. Ultimately, we are looking for belonging, to know that we are valued and worthy. We are looking for love from inanimate objects or fallible, wounded people, and we are confused by the fact we feel hollow inside. We all have things in life that we value, and we tend to tie our worth as a person to what we value. I call these worth ties. Think of the list I just made and ask yourself, what do I tie my worth to? Where do I find my belonging? Is it within my own innate value, or is it in other people or accomplishments? The solution is not to give up the things that we value, because those are part of our gifts and our genius. This is how we show up in the world with our unique talents. The solution is to realize and accept that our worth is innate. It is within us. We don't need to go searching for it outside of ourselves. We brought it with us. It is a process to change our inner dialogue from I only belong if people accept me, or I only belong if I provide value through accomplishment, or I only belong if I'm knowledgeable and intelligent, to I belong just as I am. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am enough as I am. The reason we struggle with that truth that builds a strong foundation for our life is most of us grew up in a home where approval, love, and acceptance was conditional. Not because our parents or caregivers didn't love us, but because they carry around their own worth wounds and worth ties that haven't been healed and are often generationally perpetuated. Realizing and accepting our worth and that our value is innate takes an entire script rewrite that goes against what we learned from infancy and that feels very foreign and uncomfortable. A great way to start that process of a script rewrite is by choosing to treat yourself with compassion. So that's key number 2, compassion. What do I mean by choosing compassion? Self-compassion is showing oneself love and sorrow, recognizing the pain of the experience. It is showing love and understanding to yourself instead of judgment, shame, guilt, worthlessness, or a myriad of other limiting false beliefs that do not serve or support you. Showing yourself compassion and understanding might feel completely foreign to you if you don't have a loved one in your life that has shown you this kind of love and acceptance. If talking to yourself in a compassionate way is daunting, think of the way you would talk to someone you love, a child, a dear friend, a family member, and use those words and feelings to nurture and care for yourself. Acknowledge the reality of what you've been through, the devastation and betrayal. Give yourself permission to grieve, be upset, and to not be okay. Acknowledge who you are because of this, your strengths, intelligence, what you have overcome. You are amazing, even when there are still hard days, because you are still here and you are still working through this. What happens when you experience trauma is you almost immediately go to a place of judgment of yourself and the experience. If you internalize the abuse or trauma, as almost all of us do, you come to the conclusion that it was your fault. You did this, you deserved it, or you were protecting someone else, or some combination of self-blame and self-fault finding. The conclusion of those judgments planted seeds of shame. You internalize the false beliefs, such as, I am bad, I am unworthy, I am unlovable. We combat judgment with compassion, and we rewrite those limiting beliefs to the truth, which is abuse is never the fault of the victim. Trauma is real, but it does not define us. Given the needed love and support, we can heal, and we can integrate the truth. I am worthy, I am loved, I belong, just as I am. Key number 3 is trust. One of the most damaging results of experiencing trauma and the subsequent PTSD is that your ability to trust yourself and your own judgment is shattered. There are layers to trust and trusting, learning how to trust and when it is safe to. The first layer is learning to trust yourself again. Feeling that you are unable to trust yourself, constantly questioning or second-guessing or looking to others for answers or affirmation feeds into being in a state of hypervigilance. This looks like constantly looking outside yourself for safety and affirmation. It also distracts from your ability to grow into your highest and best self. Being unable to trust yourself gives away your power. Now, if this is something that really hits home for you and is something you struggle with, this is not the time for self-judgment, comparison, or self-criticism. This is the time to revisit compassion and gently remind yourself that those behavior patterns or habits were born out of a need to survive. And survive you did. Those survival mechanisms served a purpose. They kept you safe. The question to ask yourself now is it serving me? Is it serving my growth and life purpose, or is it keeping me stuck? And what is one small step I can take today towards rebuilding trust in myself? Many, many small steps, day after day, create life-changing growth. Key number 4 is to recognize you have a choice. Most likely, you have not consciously realized the way trauma has affected your ability to make choices. Oftentimes, if you've been stuck in a trauma cycle, subconsciously, you feel you do not have a choice. You don't realize you have the ability to set boundaries, voice concerns, or even say no. This keeps us stuck in victim mode. Outwardly, this may look like making decisions based on what an abuser wants, or focusing on meeting the needs of friends or family instead of recognizing and voicing our own needs. This comes from a deep desire to feel safe, secure, and loved. instead of making decisions for yourself. An integral part of healing is to first recognize you have a choice, and to second, use your voice to express your needs. By doing this, we are able to own our power. When we own our power, we can be our highest and best self, recognize our gifts, and bless the world around us with those gifts. We're going to watch a clip that ties all of this together. In the movie Rocky Balboa, because I know that's, when you think of trauma, you're like, yeah, Rocky. The famous boxer and his son are still trying to pick up the pieces after the trauma of losing their wife and mother to cancer. Rocky's son, Robert, is tired of living in his father's shadow and withdraws from their relationship. He thinks his worth is tied to being a celebrity's son and blames his dad for not being able to succeed on his own steam. Rocky recognizes that his son doesn't recognize his own innate worth, isn't showing compassion for his father or for himself, and doesn't trust in himself, and is stuck not making choices. Let's take a look.
You ain't gonna believe this, but you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
So powerful, and it really speaks to what we've been talking about here. Trauma is brutal, and thriving again requires you to keep moving forward. Overall, that is. Obviously, on some days, you're just gonna need to stay in bed and heal. But moving forward, knowing what you're worth, and trusting in yourself. I love when Rocky pleads with his son to see that he's better than that, and that Robert is the best thing in his life, that Rocky's gonna love him no matter what. He sees his son's innate worth. He wants his son to see it in himself, because that's how Robert and we can own our power after trauma. Healing is a journey, not a day trip. It is going to take rewriting old scripts with new ones that serve and support who you want to be. It's going to take facing the monsters we have hidden in the closet out of fear, shame, or just plain not knowing how to face them. If you feel you need support on your journey, we have a 2-month program called Innate Healing, where we walk you through step by step the keys to healing. Click the link below to schedule a free discovery call with one of our therapists. Which of these 4 healing keys did you find most helpful? And what tools have you used in your healing journey? Let us know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, check out this one. Can emotional trauma cause physical symptoms? I'm grateful to share this healing journey with you. And until next time, remember to keep shining. We need your light.